DEFCON 3, I'm KT McFarlane. North Korea's hack attack against Sony has led a lot of people to wonder, are we actually in a cyber war? Can other companies do this to American companies? Can other companies in other countries do this to the American government? What are our options? And are we defenseless against what this seems to be an increase of cyber attacks? Well, to discuss is Robert McFarlane. He's National Security Advisor to President Reagan and an expert in the cybersecurity field. What do you think? Are we at cyber war with other countries?
Well, we've known for a long time that we are all vulnerable, from people who use cell phones to mega corporations, Citibank and other financial services, our electric grid. We've been a little bit anxious, with growing anxiety about who will start this and how big a threat are they really. So life is going to become much more interesting and dangerous in the months and years ahead. All of us are focused here in the United States, to include the Director of National Intelligence and much of the military community, on how can we first defend against these things with better defensive measures and also outgoing protection by way of encryption techniques that cannot be broken. However, we are at risk. Our grid is at risk. Our infrastructure is at risk. How dangerous is North Korea? I have to believe that they can create quite a lot of mischief, and maybe something even more sensational, but this is not a team with a big bench over in North Korea. I think we can counter this, and I'm hopeful that our best experts in the Pentagon and the CIA are working on that right now.
Well, but, you know, if you look at the things people have talked about doing, better encryption, we're going to defend against it, we're going to protect ourselves, nobody's talking about retaliation or what could we do to the North Koreans, or even when we talk about the Chinese who are, with cyber espionage, are stealing a lot of our secrets. The argument is, well, what could we do in return? The Chinese don't have any technology we want to steal. So are there things other than just defensive measures we could do to deter other attacks from happening and to kind of put a stop to this? Because we've seen that every week it seems to be some other big American corporation hacked into, some other parts of the American infrastructure that's at risk. So what do we do other than just try to defend ourselves?
Well, I think just to begin talking to China, to Russia, to others that are really very good at cyber offense as well as defense, and to point out that this is a very uncertain course to step on this escalatory ladder, and before they or we do it, whether it's just for intellectual property theft or something more sinister, we'd better both realize that we both have capabilities and to begin to work toward a framework of law, of behavior, but all of that has to be premised on everybody that's playing this game understanding how vulnerable we all are and uncertain about their own security. So talking, first of all, has to become much more routine. I think we can, over time, enable ourselves to get a framework of law in place that both sides have an interest in respecting.
Well, thank you very much for joining us. Robert McFarlane, National Security Counselor to President Ronald Reagan, and somebody who's telling us that the world is going to get worse. It's like the wild, wild west out there in the cyber world. Thanks for joining DEFCON 3. If you want to know more about this, other threats to the United States, or even cyber issues, go to foxnews.com.